y'all ever just forget it that you're streaming? Me too. Me too. Wow. I've actually. I can't believe I actually just did that. I started the stream and instantly I looked down at my phone and I completely forget what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. But, you know, I spent a little time today organizing my channel, doing all that stuff. Sort of making playlists for everything. Here's what. Now I have more playlists, one of them being, well, of course, Doki Doki. Then I added more to the random games. I added a Don't Look, COD World War II, God of War, Outlast, Apex Legends, Skyrim. Oh gosh, I can hear myself. Gosh, no. Why did I try to play? What was I thinking with the SCP containment breach? I knew it wasn't gonna work. But anyway, let's just get into the game. Let's hope that this one is the one. I just need to wait. I just need to wait. Just hope. Please tell me the game selected. Okay, we're good. Let's just get in. Alright, we have nothing left to wait for. Ah, we had the cliffhanger last time. That's right. We had the cliffhanger, I remember. Chapter 6. Daijubu. Third period. Theory and Knowledge class. Are we going to be in class? We're going to be in class! Dr. Kiddo. I love that. Alright, sorry, wait, let me respond to this. I know it's bad to be distracted, so that's why I'm trying to say stop texting. Alright. When we look at the data provided by the media outlets, we discover that the information provided by eyewitnesses tends to fluctuate between accounts. Some describe the assailant as firing 12 rounds, while others describe him as firing 6. You may ask yourself, how can this be? Why is there such a glaring variation amongst people's accounts of the incident? That hurts my throat. One possible explanation for such. Dr. Kiddo, my 6th period instructor, continued to drone on about the relatively silent class, busy scribbling down notes in their journals. My journal, a simple spiral notebook, laid open on my desk, but it had been a while since I had jotted down any notes this period. While theory and knowledge had always been an interesting class to me, my mind was occupied elsewhere today. I stared down at my desk, fingers flicking the edges of Natsuki's poem as I read it for perhaps the 20th time that day. My eyes grazed around over the stanzas over and over again, soaking up every word. I felt my finger brush the outline of her signature, a simple scribble in the corner of the paper. I kept turning the lines over and over like a burger patty on the grill. Not taking anything away from it, she wrote a very good poem, using simple words to give vivid descriptions, ultimately easier to digest than Yuri's abuse of complicated vocabulary or Monika's abstract view of reality. As I was reading it, I was locked on the idea that this was a confession of affection. Reading in between the lines, it had to be, or at the very least, a hint of such emotions. Nevertheless, the idea made my heart pound faster than I've ever felt it beat. Just one thing troubled me, however, the intro. I still couldn't piece together what exactly the smoke and the ugly thoughts were referring to. My mind recalls our conversation last time when she started crying to me about the Parfait Girls volume. What did she say? Things are really hard for me right now. What did she mean? What could possibly be troubling her so much to the point of a breakdown? My mind failed. I just realized the music was not playing. You guys couldn't hear. My mind failed to think of a reason. Chances are it's school related. A lot of students are getting in over their heads about the end of this semester. Everyone was trying to get their late work turned in before grades books closed, solidifying their academic standing to potential universities. Even the best and brightest of students, like Monica, would be lying if they weren't fretting just a little bit. I glanced out the window. Call it stereotyping, but I couldn't help but connecting Natsuki's exhibited persona to an anime cliche called tsundere. That is what she is. Or a character that acts cold to the main character, protagonist. In this case, myself. Is this its way of doing this? Is this how the game is supposed to? Okay. Later, they begin to be friendly to them, and depending on the series, fall in love. The initial hostility at my joining the club, refusing to let me help at getting the Parfait Girls volumes down, and slowly warming up to me by taking the umbrella and accepting my lunch. One key trait was missing from this equation, however. Still, my mind lingered at the idea it was a giant coincidence, or just unintentional. Natsuki didn't like me. She thinks I'm a creep, or just trying to play nice to get with me. Are these thoughts the result of my fear and anxiety once again taking root, manipulating my ability to think clearly? There was still a good chance she had no interest in me in that way, and just thinks of us as friends. Uh-oh. Give us an example, Puka! Once again, I tried to. I hate not being able to finish the line. I hate when it interrupts me. Okay. I froze. Looking up at the mention of my name, my mouth turned to sand. Could you repeat the question, sir? I said this with a mismanaged air of confidence. A few laughs. Dr. Kiddo squinted through his wireframe glasses. What is one concept that can be applied to the data? I quickly glanced down at my nose. I felt a itching heat rush up and down my body, the kind I always get when I'm put on the spot like this, even if I was supposed to be paying attention. My brain began to lock up. I could feel about a dozen eyes focused on me, watching my every movement, waiting for a response. My mind spurred. I flipped back to a page in my notes. Has sensory perception been mentioned yet? It could be applied by saying how disabilities affect our ability to perceive reality. I looked up with a hint of uncertainty. That was a good enough answer, right? The class nodded in general agreement. Dr. Kiddo smiled. Yes, I was hoping you'd bring that up. Oh my gosh. So today I got called up in class, my chemistry class, and thing is, I haven't been there at all this week, so we were talking about stuff that I have no clue about, so I had to answer it, and I just looked at, and when they picked me to talk to another student about it, because like we tried to make it towards the conversation, but it doesn't really change anything. I just had no clue what to say, so I just really guessed. And then the other person just, was there, and they actually paid attention, even though I pay attention, but I just wasn't there to learn. Alright, it's unfair. We turned back to face the board, now tracing back into our previous lesson about animals perceiving the world differently from others and yada yada yada. I wiped a trace of sweat from my forehead. That could have ended very badly. Gotta remember to keep an ear out. I dipped back into my thoughts. The question is, how do I act from here? Do I start flirting with her? Do I wait and see if she flirts with me first at all? How the heck do you even flirt? I've never dated anyone before, and I have next to no experience when it comes to this sort of romantic stuff. That's assuming she has an interest at all, anyway. Maybe I should just slowly start to drop hints and see if anything happens. The bell rang. I swooped up my papers and shoved them into my bag. I thought that was my friend playing Five Nights at Freddy's again. I was like, are you serious? Just 2 more periods, then the literature club. Blow through sharing poems, and spend the rest of the hour reading with Natsuki. I took in a long lungful of air and slowly sighed. Just relax. Everything will be fine. I said to myself with a shaky uneasiness. I ran my fingers through my hair. I exited the class. Since we're at a break right here, why don't you go ahead and why don't you go ahead and hit that like button, and also hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. You know, just support the channel, you know, help me grow. I want to get up to 100 subs, okay? That'd be great. Anyway, the final period bell rang, and I hastily grabbed my things and stepped into the hallway, moving past the crowd of students. I stepped into the foyer and took in the view. Low clouds hung over the skies, but sunlight still shined out. The air was unusually humid, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I adjusted my shirt collar and made my way to the 4th year's building. I entered the building and walked up the stairs. Like usual, after school hours, the halls were relatively free of students. I nodded to a passing teacher making her way down the stairs. Down the hallway, I could hear Sayori and Monica chatting indistinctly, though I couldn't quite make out what they were saying. I slowly crept up to the door and leaned in to where they couldn't see me on first glance. I could see papers strewn across the teacher's desk, with Monica standing behind it, the chair pushed back into the wall. She was thumbing through a folder, her bag hanging half open on the chair. Natsuki was sitting at the closet desk to the teachers, nose deep in Parfait Girls. Looked like the next volume I was supposed to read. Sayori was sitting on top of the desk, facing away from the club president, kicking her feet ever so slightly like a child in a grocery store cart. On her face, I saw the same distant, expressionless stare I saw a day ago. I felt a chill. It's sort of complicated having to differentiate between one variable and the next, because the OS can get confused and isn't sure which program you want to initiate. Then you'd have to write out a separate line of code telling it what to do. Monica was saying, her voice droning. Natsuki seemed indifferent to her rambling, while Sayori nodded absent-mindedly. When she was trying to explain one of her classes to her? Judging from the lingo she was using, it sounded like a computer class or something. That would explain Sayori's indifference to her. What Monica was saying sounded really complicated, and Sayori's constantly bouncing around from topic to topic. I remember back in our primary school years, our language instructor had assigned us to write a short essay, like 2 paragraphs, about our favorite thing to do at home. Sayori had just finished writing it on eating snacks, usually mine, only to toss it because she remembered she liked sleeping more. It's a tad difficult to keep her attention focused on one thing for longer than a class. And if that's the case, then maybe that's all that face means. Just boredom. Disconnected dating. And I'm ultimately worrying for nothing. Once again, I let my mind take things too far in exaggerated reality. I need to learn to not let these things happen to me. I stepped into the classroom. Okay. It's gonna play that off. Got it? I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. I know. The 3 girls glanced up. Sayori shot me a big smile and popped off the desk. She rushed toward me, arms open. She embraced me in a big hug. There you are. I was just about to call you to ask where you were. I heard Natsuki chuckle a little, and I felt my face go red. I glanced at Monica, a mixture of accepting embarrassment and confusion. Sayori, class barely ended. I couldn't have gotten here any quicker. Monica cleared her throat, taking charge. It's good to see you again, Puka. I'm glad that you showed up because there's a bit of an issue we have to discuss. My mind... Please tell me Yuri left the club. Get her out of here. No one wants her here. My mind started to worry at first before I remembered what the issue was about, thinking back to Sayori and Monica's previous conversation. Sayori released me from her desk grip hug and happily hopped back to her spot. I fixed my now crooked blazer and dusted myself off. I slowly walked to the desk adjacent to Natsuki's and sat atop it, putting my bag down in the chair. I tried to put on a cool demeanor. Sure, what's up? Monica smiled. I'm sure you know about the festival coming up, right? I don't need to go over it. Monica began propping herself up against the teacher's desk, pushing aside a few of her papers to make room. I nodded. I mean, who in this school hasn't heard of the festival? Here it comes again, I got it! Every year towards the end of the fall grading season, the administrators and the school board throw a big celebration festival on the first 2 days of the last week before the December break. Everyone could go, regardless of whether you passed or not. Food, drinks, and lively traditions / modern music galore as students take the load off from their arduous studies during the school hours. The common feature at these festivals were lots of showcases for all the various activities and clubs the school had to offer. I'm gonna scoot my chair up so I can sit with better posture. And for university representatives as well, eager to get their name out there to the student body, cream of the crop. For clubs and groups, like the debate club for example, it's a good way to advertise more students for the next two rather than just bulletin board flyers and morning announcements. Obviously, Monica would be trying her hardest to make the Doki Club's exhibition the best it can be. I love this song. I love the music. I love Doki Doki. I understand I sound like a nerd. It's such a great game. I know that you've only just joined us, but with what Sayer and I have planned out for this event, we really need all hands on deck, including yours. Natsuki and Yuri already have their plan together, as well as myself and Sayer, but you're the only one left out. Speaking of Yuri, I have glanced around the room. Where is she? Is she alright? Monica gave an affirmative wave. Oh, she said she wasn't going to be here, doctor's appointment, but she'll be here in time to start work tomorrow. She told me on the group chat. She paused, which you haven't been added to yet. Crap. Hey, you cussed! Remind me to add you to that after class group chat, huh? That'll be interesting. You said that earlier, just saying. I remember the last stream. Things are clicking. I hate advice. Guys, feelings are terrible. This sucks though. But yeah. I know I just read out what I just texted out loud, but that's not the point. Alright, she gestured to herself. Myself and Yuri are going to be working together on creating decorations to spruce up our little area, getting the right theme in place and all that. She gestured to Natsuki, half peeking at her parfait girl's volume. Natsuki is going to be baking snacks and treats to offer passerbys, potential members, as well as a way to lure them in and pique their interest. Is that you? Wait, is that the way they use the word peak? I know there's a lot of spelling changes when it comes to other places, but, like, peak? Peak versus peak. I've never seen that version of peak. Peak is oh my gosh. Peak is the topmost spelling, well, I think they used the wrong peak, but maybe that's not the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, Siri is going to be in charge of the general schedule and order of our booth, running checklists and all that sort of stuff, making sure we do stuff on time, and she twirled her wrist. Well, you get the idea. Initially, I was going to have Sayori and Natsuki working together so things would even out, but since you joined, that kind of threw things off balance, you being the odd man out. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm happy you joined, but it just means I have to shake up the order. The realization slowly came to me as she talked. What I'm getting at is, you have to choose between Sayori and Natsuki with who you would like to work with. Tomorrow was just going to be sort of research day, like getting recipes in order and choosing a theme to work on. But I was hoping everyone would start actual work on Sunday, if that's alright with you. I don't understand why, but I just felt my mind lock up. I wasn't prepared for this. I opened my mouth to say something, but no words came out. That same itching heat I had in Dr. Kiddo's class carved up my body again. An awkward pause. Could you excuse me? I sat up and rushed out the door, nearly tripping on my feet. Puka? I heard Sayori call out my name, but I didn't turn around. I hastily exited the class. This is new. I'm in the bathroom. Okay. This took a turn I actually didn't expect to see. I didn't expect this. Okay. I've never seen like actual player, suffer from anything like this. I shoved the bathroom door open with my shoulder, the door chain clanging in the door stopper. Since it was after school hours, the place was naturally deserted. I could hear the soft gurgling of water rushing through the pipes in the walls. I paced around the sinks, loudly tapping my foot against agitation. This is a disaster, I kept repeating in my head. How the heck am I supposed to pick? If I choose Sayori, I'm losing an entire day I could use to get to know Natsuki better and get closer to her. If I pick Natsuki, I make Sayori feel unwanted and maybe even hurt her feelings. There's no way to actually win here. I turned on the tap from the sink, and a thin stream of cool water gushed out. I drove my hands under the stream and rubbed my face, the cool water dripping down my chin. I cupped my hands and took a sip, filtered and pure. I glanced up in the mirror and noticed how disheveled my hair had become. I quickly combed it back into shape with my damp fingers. I ripped a few paper towels from the dispenser and patted my face dry. Come on, you're freaking out over literally nothing. All you have to do is pick between them. I have to pick. Just go with Natsuki and try to figure out what's going on with Sayori later. Maybe try and go talk to her on Sunday. Sunday or Saturday? Saturday. That sounds like a good idea at least. I tossed the paper towels into the waste bin and took another look in the mirror. I straightened up my nose and toes and tried to look confident, relaxed. I freaked out over nothing and ended up embarrassing myself. God, I really need to. I heard a knock at the door. Puka, are you in there? I heard a muffled voice call Monica. Oh, I gently opened the door. Monica stood outside. Puka, is everything alright? You seemed upset. A shadow of worry was cast on her face. I shook my head. Oh, everything's fine, just Your greatest excuse was this. I awkwardly laughed. Jesus, did I really just... Was that your greatest excuse? Did I really just say that? Monica shifted on her feet. Oh, I see. A pause. Do you need more time, or... She seemed to back off a bit. I hastily shake my head now. No, I'm fine now, thank you. No worries. I smiled, trying to push the awkwardness of the situation away. Great! Shall we go back? I nodded enthusiastically. She turned on her heel and started walking back to the class, myself warily following. I'm such a dweeb. Alright, I have to do something real quick because... What am I trying to do? I'm trying to go to game capture because I realized that my mouse can be seen and I do not like that. I only had it showing for one game. That was Death and Taxes. Oh god. Streamlabs is officially broken. Okay, we're good. Capture cursor. Nope. Get that out. Alright. We returned. Sayori and Natsuki were busy talking to each other, though I couldn't hear what they were saying. Sayori glanced up and gave me a worried expression. Are you okay, Puka? She hopped off her spot, but I put up a defensive hand. I'm fine. Just had to use the restroom. Reclusively, she sat back down. I immediately felt bad. I wasn't trying to be rude. Yes, well, where were we? Monica sits down in the teacher's chair. Puka, do you know who you'd want to work with this weekend? I glanced at Natsuki. She blushed and looked back down at her Parfait Girls volume. The book shut with the cover facing up. Don't make me choose, please. I glanced at Sayori, looking down at her white shoes tacking against the desk. She looked up and gave me a genuine smile. I feel myself start to lock up again. Say something, to my parts. I couldn't say any of those words. Well, I adjust my collar gears, turning. I always wanted to give baking a try. That is, if you're okay with that, Natsuki. Natsuki perks up, a smile breaking across her face. She just nods. Yeah, it's whatever. You can help me get the supplies I need. Sayori looked indifferent, a smile persisting on her face. I feel bad. I feel so bad. What was she thinking? Alright, that settled that then. Yeah, I'm so happy I don't have to deal with this stupid Yuri. I hate you. You're stupid. I hate you. She's nothing. You're nothing, Yuri. I'm addicted to saying you're nothing. I need to stop. Okay. Monica swiftly pulls out her phone stylus and starts to scribble down notes. I cough. Sorry, Sayori. Don't interrupt me. I hate that. It's fine, Puka. Don't worry, my job's really boring anyway. I wouldn't want to make you unhappy. She smiled. I returned the smile, but my mind sticks to that last part. I wouldn't want to make you unhappy. Even if Sayori's task was as exciting as watching paint dry, I'd have fun anyway because I'd be with her. She's my best friend. She knows that, right? Should I say something? Try to affirm that? I pause. No, she certainly knows that. Don't do this, bud. Don't do this. I've seen this happen before where we just ignore it. Don't do it. Last time that happened, bad things happen. She doesn't bore me. That doesn't bore me. Oh my gosh. Can I just press space? Okay. She's always made me happy, and I've done the same. That should be enough. Monica claps her hands together. Alright. Even though we're one member short today, I'd still like everyone to share their comments. Then tomorrow Yuri will return and we can get working on our task. Monica reaches into her bag. I'm especially proud of this one. Poetry. I suck at it. I have to hear other people who are good at it. Oh right, I do. Okay, flowers. The petals drip down into a dark puddle. Splashes of colors. Have I read this one? Yeah, I've read this one before. That's no good. That's no good. I don't like that poem because it says get out of my head, and I know what that means. Puka? I glance up from Sayori's paper. What did you think? I pause. It's not what I expected you to write. It's a tad dark, don't you think? Yeah. She drew circles on the desk with her fingers. I wanted to, try something different. Yuri's poem was sort of similar to this, and I wanted to try and make my own version of that. It certainly got across a lot of emotion. It's very yummy. Weighty. That's the word. Thank you. You could say the same about your poem, but it had a lot of emotion driving it too. Thanks. I stood up. Thanks for sharing. Sarah just smiled. I don't need bad things to happen. Why is this so behind? Monica was sitting down at the teacher's desk, tapping away at her small laptop. Behind her on the whiteboard, I could see a couple of equations and assorted numbers spelled with a green marker. I wonder what she was working on. She glanced up and immediately shut her laptop. Oh, hey, sorry, I was just working on something for my coding class. She gestured to the scrawlings on the board. That's what all that is. I shared the laugh. Hey, it's cool. Looks pretty complicated. She sighed and pushed her laptop aside. It really is. Our instructor is making us write out our own little program as a final grade before break, and it's driving me nuts. If I flop with this, it could ruin my grade. I see. Well, hopefully you can get that all figured out. Then again, what does someone like you have to worry about? I'm sure you'll create something better than anyone in your class could. Monica looked up at me, those pretty emerald eyes shining. Thank you, Puka. That means a lot. You sure do have a way to make a girl feel a certain way, huh? That is so weird. I don't think I've seen you do that all this this series, this current mod, that's the word I'm looking for. She laughed and I blushed. Anyways, poems. Monica hands me her paper to me. Cute. That's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. That wasn't funny at all. Hiroshima by Monica Shell. I don't think I've ever read this. My breathing is shallow. The air is too thin. People are screaming. I think they might win. My vision is blurry. My heart rate is slow. The therapy can save me from what I've seen. What happened? It's all nuclear. That's an interesting poem. I don't know how to feel about that. Monica's statement earlier was right. She should be proud of this one. It was, from what I gathered, a portrayal of a victim of the Hiroshima nuclear bombing in 1945, staggering around a ruined city, blinded and dying, knowing, but also not knowing what happened to them into their home. 70 years later, and it's still a touchy subject, but Monica captured its essence perfectly. Well, I mean, I understand why it's a touchy subject for you. I also mean it, but that's not the point. Wow, that was moving. I wasn't expecting something like this. You captured the emotions of that day very well. Thank you. She went silent for a moment. I didn't really enjoy writing it, but I felt inspired by it after doing some research on the bombings for my history class. Just something I felt should be written, so I took that chance with this being our last poems to share. An awkward silence. She pointed to my paper. Hopefully yours isn't as depressing. I handed her my paper. She quickly started reading it, her eyes going across each line. After a while, she spoke up. Do you mind if I say something about it? I shrugged. Sure. I'm open to criticism. She looks a little upset. It's not a criticism, but... She leaned in slightly, her voice quieted. Is this a love poem? I love being able to match how my character would feel inside it, but like also like I'm blushing right now because I tried to portray my character the best I can physically. I blushed again and I could feel myself start to sweat. But what? I laughed awkwardly. What makes you say that? Monica smiled. Don't worry, Puka. I won't spill your secret, but you did make it kind of obvious with your word usage. It's very cute, though. It's a clever way to admit how you feel to me. I freezed, huh? Monica bursted out laughing, her ribbon in her hair bouncing slightly. I'm just kidding, Puka. I'm open to... Anyway, I couldn't help but join in the laugh. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Oh, thank you for that. I take my paper back. Monica... Bop it, bop! Monica gave me a laughing smile, but it didn't help with putting me at ease. One thought troubled me. If she doesn't think I wrote it for her, what does she think I wrote it for? I turned around. I did like that. That did make me happy. Practically hopping, I walked over to Natsuki's usual spot, tucked away in the back corner desk. She was once again nose deep in Parfait Girls, her eyes intently reading the pages. Atop her desk was the manga box set from the closet. Hey! She glanced up from her Parfait Girls volume. Hey! She pointed down at the desk in front of hers. Mind if I sit here? Well, of course not, dummy. What are you gonna do? Just stand there all day? I chuckled, setting my bag down on the floor. Is that the next volume I'm supposed to read? I pointed to the book in her hand. Yeah, so? I was just rereading it, I smiled. Cool, I do that sometimes, especially when it's a good series. Better than just letting it sit and collect dust on my shelf. Natsuki looked back up, gently putting the volume down. You have a collection? She seemed surprised. Yeah, complete editions. I have it tucked away above my desk. It's only a couple of my favorite series that I've read over the years, though it's probably not as big as your collection. She glanced away. Actually, Parfait Girls is the only physical collection I have. What? Why? There's so many issues here that I have to comprehend. My character doesn't know what's going on. I know what's going on. I forgot what type of irony that is, Is this dramatic or? I think this is dramatic. I think it is dramatic. I think that's the type of irony I'm looking for. But just some literary terms I picked up on over time. I'm so yawning. I can't stop yawning. Okay, anyway, it's kind of surprising she doesn't actually own her series. I think I read that wrong. Not that I'm making fun of her, but it's usually what people, well, my friends at least, do. Physical over digital. Who cares? Mind your own business. Annoyance laced over voice. Alright. Pause. Hey, also, she paused, addressing the buffet girl's water. I need to give you my number so we can start planning for something. I nodded. Sure, no problem. I quickly pulled out my phone and opened my contacts. What is it? She slowly rattled off her number to me, waiting for me to finish inputting the digits. I added her and put my phone away. Don't make me regret it. I laughed. Don't worry. I ran my finger along the edge of the desk. My mind wandered back to this morning and how I got to finish the Parfait Girls volume just barely before the first stop. I dug into my bag and carefully pulled out the volume, holding it up to her. So anyway, since we've already shared poems, do you want to get back to Parfait Girls? Her eyes lightened up. Oh yeah. She swooped up the manga box set and stood up from her desk. She made a motion with her head to follow her, walking towards an empty spot against the wall next to the closet door. I know where this is at. She brushed off a spot on the ground and placed the box set there. She sat down and patted a spot next to her, beckoning me to join her. I bent down on one knee and took the spot next to her. I know what's coming up. Yep, it's this one. Yep. Doki Doki. Doki Doki. Can I say this is near my favorite game of all time? Nope. Is it even up there? Nope. Why? Good question, but, this isn't. Actually, that is interesting. I wouldn't even consider this, near. Yeah, that's weird. I played this game so much, but I still wouldn't even consider it a favorite. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it a lot, but I can't consider it a favorite. If you know what I mean. Sometimes, you do some things that you really enjoy, but not all the time will it be something that you can say, you 100% love. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Because I know my favorite game of all time. Well, actually, I take that back. It's a hard choice between Jak 2 and Pokemon Heart Gold. Pokemon Heart Gold, such a great Pokemon game, so good, and that could be what I consider my gaming start. But also, I could consider another game I forgot the name. Jak 2. Why did I forget the name? Jak 2, my favorite game, because that is the start of my gaming career. That is literally what I began with on the PS2. And ever since that, yeah, just ever since that, it's crazy to think I've evolved from a 6-year-old gamer up to a 16-year-old gamer. Probably younger than that, 4-year-old gamer. 12 years of gaming. 13 years of gaming. I gamed when I was 3. Before that, I don't know. Sorry. Just, once again, people texting me. I don't know why right now. Just the whole day, and they choose now. Running her fingers along the bindings of the volume, she slipped the previous book back into the holder and handed me hers. She grabbed the next volume and opened it up, immediately starting to read it. I looked up. There it was. I yawned so much. Sarah was sitting in the chair under the window by the teacher's desk, where Monica was facing the whiteboard, scribbling new equations on the board. I opened my volume and began to read. So happy I don't have to actually read these, because I wouldn't. I already have to. Hello there. Hello. My heart pounded in my chest. She was right there. Natsuki's head was resting on my shoulder, her body pushed up against mine. She sat with her legs tucked next to her chest. Sunlight gleamed through the window, reflecting in her hair, giving her an almost angelic glow. Angelic glow. Angelic? Yeah. Had to comprehend it had to think about it so many times. I don't know. It's just, there's so many words I don't know how to say. And it's like, I'm trying to think. Somehow I remember supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and onomatopoeia. You know, words like that don't even get used ever. But I feel like angelic can be so used. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just crazy. I thumbed to the next page, taking in the intricately drawn art. Credit to whoever wrote this. The style is very cute. God, please, just leave me alone. I don't want to text. Please. Almost reminds me of a cross between typical 1990 Sailor Moon styles and the more chibi pop teen epic. I don't know what any of that is. I've never seen Sailor Moon, though I know that is real. I don't know what the other one is. Maybe that's just a type of drawing, art. I don't know. I don't know. Interesting blend that works really well. I can smell. That's the creepy. I can smell her on me. It was such a vibrant and dizzying scent. Like strawberries and what I imagine rainbows would smell like. You've never smelled a strawberry? You nerd. I think that was my sign to shut up. Call me a creep, but it's about how I expected her to smell like. So stop talking. Stop being weird. It's so pleasant. I continued to read. At this part of the story, one of the girls has a crush on a boy who works at a sweet shop at the mall, and the other three girls are following her around on her date with the boy, and without moving my head, I glanced over to Natsuki. She had her own volume opened up on her lap, but she wasn't reading it. She was intently looking over at my own volume and moving. I cleared my throat. You okay, Natsuki? She seemed startled. She clutched the edge of her own volume. Yeah, what's up? I don't know. See, now we're at art that I don't know if it exists at all. She pushed back a strand of pink hair behind her ear. I shook my head. Nothing. Just seemed like you were more interested in my volume than her own. Well, it's just, I mean, it's a good part, and I wanted to see your reaction. That's all. What's wrong with that? I toned back my voice. Hey, nothing's wrong. I do the same when I'm introducing my friends to a new series. I'm curious as to how they react to some of my favorite parts. I nudged her on the shoulder. You're fine. She blushed and turned away. Thanks, Puka. I adjusted myself in my spot. Don't mention it. I looked up and almost froze. Through the rows and... I don't like that thought. I can just... It's like when you're looking down a long hallway and you just see a person staring directly at you at the very end. That's how I can imagine it. It's just like the desk set up and just like right down the middle. There's a desk set right in the middle for some reason that throws off the pattern, and it's just Sayori sitting there looking at me. That's creepy to me. Through the rows and rows of desks, Sayori was silently watching me. Not like buggy eyes or anything, but just silently watching me from her desk. An almost dead stare and smiling. Out of instinct, I waved. She took a second before she waved back, almost excitedly. A smile spread across her face before she looked down at her phone, now distracted. Slowly, I returned to the manga. Alright, that was kind of weird. How long was she looking at me, I wonder? Probably not long, a couple seconds. I wonder what she thinks of me and Natsuki being so close together. Is she threatened? There's no real reason to be. I shake my feet, stops away. Back to parquet girls. You can think about that all later. Why do I keep yawning? Actually, no, that one was a pretty small yawn. It was like one that sort of came out, but like didn't all come out. So the rest of it's gonna come out later. That's all I can really say to describe that. 15, 20, 30 minutes passed. I finished the volume fairly quickly and ending up discussing my thoughts with Natsuki afterward. It was nice, mostly because she was very passionate about the series, and it's always fun to talk to people who have a deep love for their art. Very refreshing. It's like, I have the burp stuck in my throat now. Sharp contrast from the usual faceless nobody wannabe fans I find on the internet comment sections. Why did they capitalize the internet? It doesn't matter. I watched as the hands of the clock slowly reached 5 o'clock. On cue, Monica's phone started buzzing an alarm, which she quickly grabbed to shut off. She stood up, her laptop bag and regular bag slung over her shoulders. Well, that's the bell. Thanks for showing up today, everyone. Now, I want everyone to start thinking about what you want to work on tonight, because that's all we're going to be doing next meeting. Everyone nodded in acknowledgement and started to grab their things. I stood up and dusted myself off. I stuck my hand out to Natsuki, who gingerly grabbed my hand and boosted herself up. Her cheeks went hot, and I couldn't help but smile. Oh, Puka? Monica shouted my name from the back of the room. I still need to add you to the group chat, remember? I reached down and grabbed my bag and walked over where Monica was at. Sarah was getting her purse together. Apparently she made herself busy by cleaning it. I pulled up my messaging app and handed Monica my unlocked phone, who quickly started tapping away. Thought she was gonna say swiping. I was like, that's not how you play this game. In a few beats, she handed it back, and I felt my phone start to buzz from the new notifications. Natsuki drifted away from me, and I met with Sayori, who was already waiting to leave by the door. They both turned and smiled at me. Text me whenever you get home so we can start planning right away, okay? Alright. I started to unbutton my blazer. The weather outside looked cooler than it did earlier, and I was hoping to enjoy a nice breeze or two. I folded my blazer over my arm, and start reading the next volume so we can get back to it faster. Then we can start reading more on Sunday. That is, if you wanted to. I started to undo my tie as well. Sayori waited patiently for Natsuki to finish talking before speaking. Puka, are you still gonna walk home with me? I couldn't help but detect a hint of desperation in her voice. Did she think I was gonna ditch her for Natsuki? I wouldn't do that. Well, if that opportunity came up, I would let her know beforehand, but still. Well, yeah. You thought I was gonna ditch you? And now I was just double checking. Natsuki gave a curious look to Sayori, but said nothing. Fight! I don't know. Monica swiped her bag off the chair and dangled a pair of keys in her hand. Ready to leave? Yes, I am. We all stepped outside and went to Stop yawning! Went our separate ways, Natsuki tagging with Monica and Sayori walking with me the opposite way down the hall. Bye guys! Bye guys! Hi guys! Hi guys! Mr. Ruffles here! Hi guys! Mr. Ruffles here! I love that. Sayori and I turned and waved. Natsuki had her headphones already in and almost didn't notice, but she turned and waved goodbye at the last second. We locked eyes for a moment. Text me, she mouthed at me. Things are going well. Until something bad happens, because something bad always happens. And the walk home was rather uneventful. The whole stroll back, I tried to figure out how Sayori was feeling. Even so, she still seemed to be her usual bright self, talking about her plans for the festival and how excited she was for the free food they were gonna serve. Eventually, I gave up trying. I walked Sayuri to her front door, hugged her goodbye, and made my way home. No, it's gonna end soon! God dang it, pizza party pickle. My friend's at a... I've only been live for 30 minutes. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, good. Yeah, there's no way I was live for 30 minutes. By the time I got home, sunset was beginning to streak across the sky. It looked beautiful. I unlocked the door. Uh-oh. Someone's here? Someone's here. As expected, the lights were dimmed, which I switched on, and something was brewing on the stovetop. I glanced down in the pot. It looked like shabu shabu, a nice water-based meat and vegetable dish. Hungrily, I grabbed an empty bowl and ladled some of the dish onto the bowl. I snatched another immune soda. God, I love those things. And hurriedly took everything upstairs. Where's the music? Oh, I don't like the silence. I pushed open the door with my foot and set my bag down at the foot of my bed. I sat down in my desk chair, gently placing my meal onto the desk. I propped up my legs and took a swig of my soda. Digging into my pocket, I pulled out my phone and tapped to my music playlist. As I watched steam waft from my dinner dish, my mind wandered. Oh, I love these. This mod is so good. As I watched steam waft from my dinner dish, my mind wandered back to the literature club chat. I was anxious to see if my name came up anywhere, and if so, in what context. I opened up my messaging app and tapped through the chat, accurately named Literature Club, with a flower and a book emoji. I took a quick glance at the member list. Monica was listed as the admin, with Sayuri as the moderator. Yuri and Natsuki were regular members. Sayuri's photo was a pan of glazed cinnamon buns. Did Natsuki bake them? Username, Happy Thoughts with a sun emoji. Yuri's photo was a stack of books, their binders showing off various titles. I noticed that the PukaTuka of Margon was among them. Username, Yuri Kata Yuri Kata Yuri 7. Natsuki's picture was a chibi cat against a polka dot background. In a similar style to the stickers on the club poster. Username, Manga is lit. Monica's photo was a selfie of her doing a peace sign dressed in a summer clothing pose. Wait a minute. They're talking about the Twitter account. They're talking about the Twitter account. Lil Monix 3. Let me just. I haven't looked at that Twitter in a while. I think about it. Yeah. They really just did that. That's amazing. I love that. That is great. Oh my gosh. All her stuff is being... Monica, yeah. Username Lil Monix 3. Go follow them on Twitter. Now that I think about it. Go do it. But anyway. My throat. God dang. Okay. I scrolled through the previous chat logs. The last messages were from this morning, with Yuri declaring she would be absent for today, and acknowledgments from the rest of the club. Swiping up, the earliest messages seemed to date back as far as a few months. How long has everyone known each other? I kept thinking to myself as I read through a few of them. The chats were nothing of particular interest to anyone but the club and my snooping self. It was mostly just general conversation about the club and the weekend activities. Monica seems to be a very social person, going out your socially with friends. But does she ever invite the club? There were also a few memes here and there. I kept swiping through the chat, searching for my name. Eventually I found it, Lil Monix 3. So who's the person you want to bring to the club? Happy thoughts, just someone I know. Is it a boy? I don't know why that's funny. Manga is lit. Sayuri, don't be a mood killer. What's our trouble? Yuri, I'm just gonna read their names. Yuri. It would be terrible if there was a new member, even if they were male. It wouldn't be terrible if there was a defender, even if they were male. Literature should be open to everyone and anyone. Natsuki. Natsuki. Sayori. Monica. So who is it? Sayori. Well, his name's Puka, and he's been my best friend since we were kids. He really means a lot to me, and I've been trying to convince him to go. Aww, Monica. Aww, he sounds nice. I think I had a Puka in one of my classes. Sayori. Oh my god. I'm gonna try and get him to go on Monday. Can you make cupcakes, Natsuki? Natsuki, only if you pay me. And Sayori, do you take hugs as payment? I looked up. The smell of the shabu wafted into my nose, distracting me from my reading. I set my phone down and eagerly began to dig into my meal. As I ate, I remember I saw a text that I had to text a certain someone. Using my free hand, I picked my phone back up and began to type in Natsuki's number. Oh no. I don't like that. I don't like that. Daydreaming. I wish I could be anywhere with you. I see the colors shining bright. With your feathers, we could fly away to heaven. I could see someday into the sparkling abyss and light, running with your flashing light, racing you, taking flight, to fly it on your feathers. Oh, right now could be better. If I wasn't here. Uh-oh, I think that's Sayori. God dang it! Guys, we're done from today, okay? No, we're done! I don't wanna... Alright, but, for real? Okay, let's not end the stream. You know what? We're just gonna do this, man. Okay, 6. 9. No. 6. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. If you did, why don't you go ahead and smack that